Welcome to the Foil Life Podcast, where we talk about foiling and the lifestyles of those who enjoy these great sports.
All right, fellas, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Hey, Luke.
Stoked to be here.
It's nice to see you both. Benji, I haven't seen you in a year. Tom, we haven't talked since, I think, July. You've had a pretty busy little while running all the tours, but glad to be home for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's been second half of the year in general is busy, and it's been the last, since the end of July, with the Canaries. We've been in Europe a lot, 2 events in Canary Islands, and then kite tour in Germany, SFT pump foil tour in Austria, and right now I'm home getting some water time myself, getting some waves. That's good. And then in 2 weeks we're off to Morocco again, and then Abu Dhabi and Brazil.
Hey, there you go. And Benji, the last time we had you on, I think it was last year, and you told me, Luke, I'm going to be the world champ next year. And look what happened. Congratulations, by the way. I know how much work you put into it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, last year when I said that, I was kind of determined to get it this year because, I've been training with Chris, who was the current world champion. And I just felt like I had the skill, to make it this year. And yeah, I guess it happened.
How did you see that progress, Tom? Obviously, it was Benji's first year because you have to be a certain age to join the tour. How did you see that progression from him and how he kind of matched right away with some of the top riders?
Yeah, on the skill level, I think everybody was already afraid, let's say. He's going to come on tour. And Benji has been actually competing already once before, when it's true that we have this minimum age of 14 or for the world tour, but of course if you get a wild card you can be in an event also at an earlier age, and he has been already, I think 2 years ago, it was in the Canaries as well, competing, and everybody was already really impressed about his level, and everybody was kind of afraid, let's say, not everybody, the other competitors. I was not afraid. I think I was watching the show, but that, he'll be a tough one to beat. But obviously, having the skills is one thing. And I think you need to be able to put down your performance consistently and be able to show your level actually in a heat, which is very different to free riding and just going out and busting some moves, because there's a certain judging criteria. You have a certain number of attempts. You cannot really make too many mistakes. And this is something that usually comes, we see a lot, but every now and then you see young talents coming in that have really high level, but it takes them a bit of time. It takes a couple of events to really perform at the highest level. And the way I seen Benji, going through this season, the first event was in Cut, and I think he has been performing really well in the whole event. And then in the final, if I remember right, I think you've been 4th, and because you had too many crashes, and where you were, I don't know what was the reason, but that's what I mean. It comes a bit with experience, but I think Benji was somebody who didn't take years to get the experience. It was just within a season from the first event, and then already, being on the top on the second, and then you have the third one. It was a close battle everywhere. It was not a clean sweep. I think it's been a very exciting competition on the men's side as well as on the women's side in freestyle this year, and it's been an interesting battle until the last event. But in the end, I think, Benji, you were showing, great consistency, and you really stepped up every event on how comfortable you feel in competition, and claimed the world title already in the rookie year, let's say. And that's quite an unusual thing to happen. So that's a great accomplishment.
Kudos to Chris, I guess, Benji, because you trained with him a lot and you got to see all of these little tricks and things. And it's nice to see you guys all training together. Anything from, let's say, your competitors, or anything that you'd like to say to Chris or some of the other guys you trained with that kind of helped you get here?
So yeah, honestly, I've been training, for various years now with Chris in La Ventana down in Mexico. And I feel like without Chris, let's say, being there every day training, right, showing me new tricks and stuff, I wouldn't be where I am today. You always need that inspiration to keep on going forward, to try new tricks, to not be scared, let's say. And I feel like, yeah, he was just world champion, so it was just perfect for me. I guess I learned many things from him.
Well, I rode with you guys once, I think. I do my regular like daily downwinders to the beach, and I was, first off, the speed you guys go to get your jumps, how high you were going, and then also how many crashes you were doing to land something was just something that I don't think a lot of people could understand. And like I tried to keep up, but there was just, you put it into another gear. So I can see how much time you guys spend out there and how hard you throw down, and then you go and rest and do it again the next day. Like kudos for that determination, because I know that's like a characteristic that'll bring you not only far here, but like far in life as well. So how did it feel that day when you're holding that up and all of those things kind of came to be?
So, yeah, I mean, I was, Gran Canaria had been on the list for a while on the GWA, right, on the tour. And after the first event that I did in Lucat, that was my first GWA event. I kind of just felt fired up, right? So then when we came to Tarifa, I won the event, but I felt like I could give more. And I knew that Gran Canaria was the spot to do it. It was just perfect conditions, super windy, giant kickers, and yeah. I think also my dad, from the start, we knew that I was going to win there. Yeah, that was just perfect conditions for me. And when I got that win, I couldn't believe it at first. But then honestly, like the next day, I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, it's a dream come true.
Any moves that stand out, Tom, that made the difference between, obviously, because judging is something that's always splitting hairs. Is there anything that stood out that made him stand apart like that?
Well, I think, right now in general on the tour, I think there is a really high level on freestyle. Like there is actually, you can see 10 guys or 8 guys that can win or lose to anybody on these 8. It's not like an easy one. I've been talking to people, after watching the competition in Gran Canaria, like Benji said, I think it's the first time we went to this spot, in El Burrero. We've been in Pozo, we've been in Salinas before doing the big air and also surf freestyle, where Benji was also doing his first event in Pozo. And I think El Burrero, I've been at the spot before, but I never ride there before myself. And I haven't seen a competition, but it's a really great arena. And I think this spot is really going to boom with wing foiling in the future too, because it has this consistent, strong wind, but not as crazy strong as Pozo, and nice kickers. And it's been like, I was calling it at the Palau Fest. I mean, it was it was that perfect spot where you can just go big. You can hit full speed on the kickers and you just do big stuff. And I think there were a lot of people doing, let's say, similar tricks in a way, any Palau combinations and combos. But what really stood out, I think, and where Benji made his top scores is like by how big he's going and how clean he's landing. Because going that huge, and I don't know, probably up to 10 meters on some of the tricks for sure, and like landing full speed, popping up on the back on the foil, not getting wet at all is not easy. And there were not a lot of people who were able to do that, and especially not as consistent. So I think that was the most impressive for me, to watch Benji like really stomping tricks, textbook, like, huge. Whoa. and just so smooth and so making it look very easy. And that what got rewarded very well, I think, by our judges.
What do you have to say about that, Mr. Benji?
So, I mean, yeah, I felt like I was landing really clean tricks in Gran Canaria. I guess that was my best event yet. Yeah, that's just like Tom said, it's a spot to go high. And we were doing lots of Palaus just because there's either big front flips or big Palaus. Those are the 2 tricks you can really go big on. And there's more, let's say, Palau combinations than front flip combinations. Like now we have Palau front flip, Palau 720, Palau 1080, Palau backflip. And instead front flip, we just have like a normal front flip or front flip 360, right? So there's more opportunities in a Palau than just a front flip. So everybody was focusing lots on Palau, sorry. And yeah, I mean, honestly, landing the tricks high and clean, it's just all about not being scared. You have to just full send it and yeah, just hope for the best.
Are you still closing your eyes halfway through rotations and opening them after, or is that just for your double backies?
Just for the back.
Fair.
I'm too scared to
I
look.
see you guys throwing down double forwards now. Is that the same thing for a double forward?
I don't even notice I'm doing a double forward.
All right, fair. So a lot of kind of cool combinations like that. Did you have to kind of see what other guys were doing and kind of do the math in your mind, what you had to do, or were you just playing your own game kind of thing?
So, I mean, we had all been there for like a week before, right? Training in the spot. And we kind of saw each other's skill and what tricks we were doing. Obviously each had like their own little secret trick that they wouldn't do in front of everybody. But yeah, it's always important to see what the other competitor is doing before the competition starts, to see if you need to change maybe your tricks a little bit. And yeah, just trying to get that 30 perfect score.
Can you tell us now that it's over, for those who maybe didn't catch the event, what your secret kind of master trick was or combination?
So yeah, my secret trick, well, I didn't really have a secret trick, but my best trick, I think it was the Palau front flip, because I can do it pretty high and pretty consistent and landing pretty clean. And I think I got like a 10. The judges love that one. And yeah, it's just also my favorite trick, so it's just perfect.
What do you see progression-wise, Tom? How I know this year, because the freestyle wrapped up, did you see a lot of new kind of innovations, obviously, compared to last year? It's continued to push, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think the end is still not there. I think there's still a lot of progression, and I'm surprised about that too, because I think we talked about that a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, that we thought, okay, now you're getting, the end. I remember there was basically mopes happening, handle passes or like wing passes, and then now it's I think like Benji said, I mean, this Palau trick is that you can perform really high. I mean, I really personally like it a lot because it's something that looks really stylish. It's not a super fast rotation, but you kind of go really huge, like on a windsurf backflip in a way, but not turning the sail. And then it allows you to really float and combine it with a lot of double combinations too. And the only thing I think now, the Palau, I think it's a great show, but I think we've been talking with some judges and some people about that already, that maybe we need to adapt the judging criteria a little bit for next year to push a bit more variety. Obviously, I think if I look at Gran Canaria, probably 80% of the tricks were Palau combinations. And don't get me wrong, they all look amazing. But in terms of variety, maybe we need to push it in another direction, like we did a few years ago when we said, okay, now we're going to push for combos because we want to see some more of these. I don't know which direction it will still go. I think there's still a lot of room, and I mean, we're just discovering. I'm not doing those tricks, but I think the top athletes are just still experimenting. I mean, you can ask that Benji. Probably he won't tell us what he's working on right now because he wants to keep it secret. But
Yep.
but I think there is still so many possibilities, and especially now one thing we are always pushing with our judging panel is definitely pushing more towards height and power versus technicality. We don't want to see tricks that are technically but very low. That's never scoring a lot. And I think the higher you go, obviously, the more airtime you have, it allows you to play with more tricks, I think, to see in the future. And yeah, like Benji also said, we we didn't see a lot of double front flips in the Canary Islands events. In the competition, people were training it, but it's still a move where I think most of the athletes are not 100% safe on it yet, that they will really do it in a competition unless they need to, because they know they need to do a big score. But I don't think it's the end. I don't say a triple is impossible. I think a triple front flip or a triple back flip will also be possible at some point. Definitely, as I said, I think the cleanness, the power, the style, and the height are where we're pushing freestyle at the moment. And spots like Gran Canaria are the perfect arena for that. I mean, of course, if you're in a lake or in La Carte at 20 knots, you can't go as big. But that's also the nice. I think I've been seeing some also national level events in the past weeks. On lakes, on light wind conditions, and obviously it's not the level of the top guys in the world, but still some of the guys in the nationals were also people that are in the World Cup. But you could see obviously they cannot do the same on a 15 knots gusty lake conditions compared to Gran Canaria with big kickers and 35 knots. I mean, that spot is really great, I think. I mean, that was the main feedback, and I was very happy to hear that in Gran Canaria, that all the athletes were amped right there. They loved it. It's a great spot that hasn't been so known yet before. That's why I say I think it's going to get popular for wing foiling in the future.
Now, let's take a look at that real quick, just to highlight that location. Let me see if I can share my screen here. All right, so I pulled up Gran Canaria here. Whereabouts on this island is this? What's the location?
Yeah, it's on the east coast. Do you see the airport?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so it's just south of the airport. It's just around the corner.
Okay.
If you see that on the south side of the airport, the road that goes towards the beach, zoom in there.
Yeah.
A little bit down south.
Oh, here it is.
You see
This
the village,
beach, Burrero?
and exactly,
Yeah.
and there is this pier, and the competition area was just on the south side of the pier. So you could have the
Let's see
spectators
if
on the
we
pier
have-
being really close to the action, and the camera people, and it's a great arena. It's a great spot to set up. Yeah.
And
So
my father yelling
Pretty
at
close
me.
to this spot then.
Yeah. That,
Is it? So right about here, Tom.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
I-
Okay. So the prevailing wind direction, is it side shore?
It's side on from the left. Yeah.
Side on from the left. All right. So it's coming from the left-hand side of the screen, and the kickers are coming straight at shore?
Yeah. And you
Whoa.
basically you do the jumps like towards, let's say, the end of the pier, 50 meters to the right. That's
Right
where
around here.
you take off. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that would be not too bad then.
No, and it's
All right,
great
Benji,
as an
you're
event.
back
As
and
I
good?
said, as an event site, it's a really nice setup because everything's very close. No long distances. The spectators the spectators were even closer to the action than the judges.
Benji, looking at what Tom mentioned, height over some lower technical skills, what do you think is harder, scarier, or from the athlete side, what are your comments on that?
So yeah, I mean, obviously, getting lots of heights is pretty scary. But I mean, it just feels awesome. And honestly, you try to get that 10, everybody's trying to win. So, I mean, you have to risk it for the biscuit. So it's worth the risk.
It is what it is. It's worth the risk. Nice. How have you, like last year, I think you just had the kind of same attitude that you just practiced. Do you find those tricks, obviously, with a little bit more time and a whole year training with the guys, have gotten easier to, obviously they've gotten easier because your landings have come a long way?
So yeah, I mean, obviously they've gotten easier because I've been training a lot, but they haven't gotten less scary. They're still as scary as before. And yeah, I mean, obviously in the mind, they're a little bit easier because, you'll probably land it if you train them and you land, let's say 8 out of 10, you have an 80% chance to land it. So you feel way more comfortable in your heat. But yeah, every trick for me at least is very scary.
That's a commitment we need, eh, Tom? Isn't that something?
Yeah, and I can tell you, I mean, there was nobody, like holding back. And I think Benji can confirm that. And Gran Canaria, and even in Fuerteventura, I think, there was plenty of riders trying to send it, and like, I think it's scary, like going that big for sure. And I think, yeah, the confidence to be able to go that big and land it, that's what makes the difference. And there were, I mean, lots of people really trying to charge and go big, and also a couple new faces, we haven't seen really competing so much in the past. And for sure, it also, it was a kickers were left foot front, so it favors you to go, if that's your favorite side, obviously, for those guys like the Acharo brothers, like Thomas and Alex, who are right side or goofy footers, they perform their biggest tricks on the other side coming in. It wasn't as easy to go on the same height. But I mean, this is how it is in competition. Last year we had the final event in Brazil, which was right side kickers, so it favored goofy footers. I mean, in the end, you need to be a complete rider. You need to be able to go as big both sides, and it also depends where you're training. But I think on the sand level, if you ask me, it was definitely not a lot of people holding back there in Gran Canaria. But then it's the next thing to land your tricks as well if you're going huge.
That's true. That's true. Benji, do you think the gear has gotten a little bit better this year, or do you think gear's not played that big of a role?
So, I mean, I just made the switch to gong myself, obviously. But I feel like, yeah, gear is the most important thing that a rider can have. You have to have the right gear for the right conditions, and that's what you need to win. Honestly, I think I won this year because of the gear. The gong gear is phenomenal. It has so much hang time. And yeah, I mean, also the duotone wings, I'm pretty sure they're very good. That's why the Archer twins are quite good too. But if you don't have the right gear, like I said, you're not going to get to the top, let's say.
All right, so nothing bad to say about Gong then.
Yeah.
They're a dedicated team over there. I think we've tried to get them on the show a couple times, but they're a dedicated team, and I know they work super hard. So I'm glad to hear, and congrats on moving over to them. And hey, congrats again on this. It's not often that you have people come on, or just in general, and they say they're going to accomplish something and they work super hard, and boom, it comes pretty fast. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess thanks to Chris, and thanks to everybody else for training. And what about now? I guess it'll be back to back, right? We'll see how many. Are you going to be the Nia of the guy side?
Yeah, I mean, myself.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a very tough one. Yeah, I think to make myself happy, I have to get at least 10.
All right. We heard it, folks. All right, Malo. Yeah. All right, Chris. That's the way she's going to be.
Yeah. Hopefully. And I mean, it's always, I think, a different situation when you are the reigning champ and you need to defend your position. Then those guys were not there yet, but they, there's nothing to lose for them. They just gonna go. They That's just true. Be able to step out and go higher. But if you're on the top position and you need to defend it, I think you have the right confidence level, Benji, to take another title, and maybe more than one. Yeah, but for sure, I don't think it's going to be an easy one.
It wasn't easy for Michael Jordan either, Tom, and you know what he did. So how is this going to be any different?
It's good. I think it's great to see, so many people pushing now. And I know we're talking now about Benji and the men's side, but I also want to mention that on the women's freestyle side, the level has been going crazy. I mean, compared to before. I really want to mention that too. Marie, who won the girls' women's title. I mean, basically, she didn't even compete in Leucart. She showed the first time ever she showed up was in Tarifa. And then in the Canary in Tarifa, I think she finished on 4th place, and then one on the youth event in Costa Brava after that, and then in Canaries she was dominating.
Wow.
And there were plenty of other girls too, like really on a high level. I think it's great also the participation, and we are now getting to the situation where we have nearly as many competitors on the women's side and men's, and that's awesome, and
That is.
high level girls. So it's great to see, so many young faces pushing the sport in the freestyle discipline, especially, and people that, there are people, a lot of people also coming not out of places where they might have perfect conditions every day, but it shows that even, if you're somebody like Marie that trains in lakes mainly in Central Europe, can get to the same level than others and win.
Congratulations above. So what you're looking forward to next year, Benji?
Yeah, definitely. I really hope that I can get a few wins next year, and hopefully get the championship again.
You're going to be in La Ventana when? Starting January?
Start of November.
November. Oh, cool. All right.
Yep.
Well, if I can work it out, maybe I'll see you there for some tacos and some winging again. I got some new gear,
hopefully.
And go see if I can keep up some more.
This year back to front.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, guys, hey, thanks for taking the time. Thanks for taking the time to join and sharing that. Congratulations again. And we're looking forward to seeing you compete this year. And Tom, I think we're talking about the SFT in about an hour, so I'll be seeing you soon.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
That's it. All right, boys. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye, everybody.